All right. Well, what can I say? For those who have been here before, then welcome back. It's great to actually be back in person for an awards brunch after several years. Not that we didn't have great World Series of birding the last couple of years, but it's so great to see all the smiling faces here in person. And we also want to thank all the people who are not here today, who also participated all over the Atlantic Flyaway. So I'm very excited to say that we had 87 teams with 491 participants, and that's pretty amazing. And also a big thank you for making what is New Jersey Audubon's 39th annual World Series of Birding such a success. It's the original and longest running birding competition in North America, so thank you. Anybody have any challenges yesterday? Who didn't have challenges yesterday? Every year presents different things. Some years the weather cooperates, other years it doesn't. This year, maybe a little mix of both, depending on what part of the state you were in. For those down south here, fog and rain and thunder, if you were up at Jake's Landing midday, was not something we expected, but fun nonetheless. So most excitingly for me here is seeing all the young birders out there in the room today. So yeah, exciting future ahead of us. I do want to thank our finish line volunteers, as well as the volunteers helping out today. So if they wouldn't mind standing up, the ones that are here volunteering. So I want to thank everyone who's played such a role in making this year's event happen. Most importantly, our staff that makes it happen. Special Events Director Lillian Armstrong, Renee Buccina, Deb Shaw, Shannon DeAngelis, there in the back. Why don't you stand up? As well as Karen Sharp and New Jersey Audubon's development and communications team, who gets the word out there and really has helped make this the event that it is today. We do keep growing. I know a few years ago when it was in person, we were probably 70-some teams. So now we're over 80. Next year, let's see if we can get that up to 100. So I'm going to start by congratulating some of the teams that are raising money for organizations other than New Jersey Audubon. And that's one of the things that's so unique about this World Series of Birding. You don't have to be raising money for New Jersey Audubon. Whatever conservation organization that you want to support is who you can raise money for. And here's just a few examples. Citizens United for the protection of the Morris River, CU, we'll call them the CU Fishhawks, have raised over $10,000 each year for the past 2 years for bird studies on the Morris River. So they've been doing a great job. I'm happy to know some of them are CMBO volunteers as well, so I get to see them on a regular basis. The Hackensack River Creepers raise about $10,000 each year to raise awareness of the importance of clean water for people and wildlife. And the Wetlands Institute Marshketeers, who I think there might be a couple of them here today, raised over $5,000 for their conservation efforts in coastal habitats. So, and those are just a couple examples of where teams are raising money for different organizations around the world. So thank you for all of their efforts. And now I'm going to turn it over to Alex Ireland, who is New Jersey Audubon's acting president and CEO. He's also a member of the Wandering Tattlers, the board team that always has an exciting run at the World Series of Birding. So.
Hello, the notorious Wandering Tattlers, I'm told. Thank you all so much for being here. It's so exciting to see you this morning. This is my first World Series of Birding as acting president and CEO. As a rookie, I can tell you I am in awe of this event. The dedication of our staff, the enthusiasm of the teams, the attention to detail across our volunteers, it's truly amazing and inspiring. A great thank you to all of our sponsors, Ocean Wind, Zeiss, Wakefern, ShopRite. We couldn't do this without that support, and we're very, very grateful for it. For nearly 40 years, the World Series of Birding has been bringing people together to bird for conservation, out there connecting with nature, instilling that conservation ethic across so that we can do good in the name of birds and conservation of the habitat upon which they rely. And you know, competitive birding has really hit the big time when Bryant Gumbel and an HBO crew is out with some of our teams in the field. So that's incredibly exciting. Thank you. I'm sure this is not lost on anyone in this room, but New Jersey Audubon is grounded and historically founded in the notion of protecting and conserving birds. In 1897, a concerned group of citizens came together to push back against a powerful industry to try to stop the use of bird feathers in hats. And here we are today, carrying on that tradition, working to conserve species, the habitat on which they rely, and to educate everyone in the importance of those efforts. While we've come a long way since those times, there's still a lot of work to do. Birds and other species are in trouble. In the last 50 years, we've lost nearly 30% of the bird population in North America, and even common species are in decline. That's the work that's here before us. All of us, as conservationists, as stewards of the nature today for the people of tomorrow, that's the work that we're doing. World Series of Birding is New Jersey Audubon's signature event. Our goal this year was to raise $300,000 that we can apply to some of the critical conservation programs on which we are working. You, as participants here, are part of that, a conservation legacy that extends back 125 years. And moving forward from this event, we're going to push forward some of our critical initiatives. We're going to develop forest stewardship plans to enhance habitat and resilience to climate change across the forested ecosystems of New Jersey. We're doing research on birds on 2 continents. We're studying collisions with tall buildings so that we can propose solutions to those challenges. We're working on our Gardening for Wildlife program so that citizens across the state can have patches of habitat to aid as rest stops in migration. And of course, we continue our long-run migration monitoring so that we can understand threats to species as they move around our planet. Beyond all of that, World Series of Birding is about fun, bringing people together, different ages, different skills, different abilities to connect around nature, to instill in all of us that conservation ethic so that we can be the stewards today of the nature for all people to see tomorrow. So here you are, connecting in 125 years of conservation, and we are grateful. So thank you all so much. It's wonderful to see you. And with that, I'm thrilled to hand it over to our amazing Vice President for Education, Dale Rosalette.
Thanks so much. Oh my goodness gracious. It is so good to be back here in person with all of you. Saw many of you last night. You're looking a heck of a lot better this morning than you were last night, I have to say. You know, in 1984, Pete Dunn, Bill Boyle, Pete Basinski, and the young upstart David Sibley participated in the first World Series of Birding. It wasn't until 15 years later, in 1998, they were like, where are the kids? Where are those young birders out there? So in 1999, we started the youth division of the World Series of Birding. Somebody do the math for me? It's still early. So 1999, and it's now 2020. I lost 2 years. 2022, okay. How many years is that? 23 years later, look at this. It's fantastic. So whether you were a competitor for the first time this year, whether you saw 25 bird species that you had never seen before, Whether you did the full state and you were like hardcore going out there for the whole time, you should all be congratulated. It is an amazing feat, and we are so thrilled to have you all. And I have to say, seeing some of the young birders from the past over here and over here that are now doing other teams, adult teams, it's just really fantastic to see. So we are thankful for Zeiss. They have been the sponsor of the Youth Birding Division for quite a number of years. And so just keep that in mind as well. And I think, Brett, you're gonna do the honors. We're gonna stay up here and we're gonna start with the Youth Division and giving those awards out. So thank you all very much. Keep up the good work.
Okay. So as Dale said, this morning we are going to celebrate the teams with the most species. But as you should know, we celebrate all the teams regardless of the totals, but it is a birding competition, so we are going to recognize that. So make sure you give a hearty round of applause to all the runners-up as well. And when we have you come up, we ask that each category winner have one spokesperson, if you can, and try and keep the comments to 2 minutes or less. We don't want to have to start playing the music and... She's, all right, yeah, watch out for the cowbell. So at the end, we will have a chance to pass the mics around, and each team will give a little snapshot of what their day was like, some of the challenges, some of the high points, things like that. So, all right, so as Dale said, we're going to start with the Zeiss Youth Division and work our way up from there. So first off, how many of you have ever been a youth team mentor? Mentors. Okay, a few hands going up. Keep those hands up. Now raise your hand if you've been a youth team driver. Keep those hands up. And now youth team parents. More hands going up. Where's the momlets? All right. That's a lot of hands. And that doesn't count all the kids out here as well. So all the kids, put your hands up as well. That's more than half the room. Okay, so we are going to start with Division D, the Kids Carbon Free Challenge, and the runner-up team is, I suspect, Foul Play with 82 species. So, yeah. And in first place, we have the YMOS Cruisin' for Chicks with 112 species. So come on up. Yep. Congratulations.
It's been 3 years since I've done this.
Okay, come on. Step right up front here. Yep. Yep. Who would like to speak about your day for a minute? There you go.
Okay, so we started off our day at 5, Pond Marsh Creek, and it was foggy. That wasn't good. So after that, we headed over to Coral Avenue, and it was still foggy. That still wasn't good. And we kind of just went with the day, did whatever we could, and somehow we racked up 112. And so we got to 112, and we missed wood thrush. So we'd gotten Wilson Storm Petrel, Purple Sandpiper, and we'd missed wood thrush. So that was cool. That's about it. That's about all I got. Yeah, so I'm Gabe. This is Zach, and that's eaten. So yeah, that's our team, cruising for chicks.
All right, congrats to them. Okay, next up is going to be Division A, which is grades 1 to 5. Yeah. Do you know how many miles you pedaled?
Over 30.
Good for you. I ride on the Century Team bus. I'm not for pedaling 30 miles anymore. Okay, does somebody have? Nice, good for them. Congrats to the parents as well. So next up is Division A, grades 1 through 5, and in second place is the Nature Center at Cape May, pygmy nuthatches with 40 species. And in first place, the YMOS Fantastic Fledglings with 118 species. Yeah, congrats. Yep, congratulations. Okay, we're going to step up here. Step right up front here, and we're going to take a photo. Yep. There you go. Oh, perfect.
And after I'm done, stand still. Can you take your hands just for a second? Remember, right? Okay, good. And then your parents will take some photos. Okay. Smiles here. All right.
Oh, wait, one more. Okay. Right, would somebody like to speak for the team? And you can introduce all the members of the team as well.
Do we?
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Why don't you do it right over here?
Hello. So we are the YMOS Fantastic Fledglings, and we are 5 strong. So I'm Time, the team captain. This is
Ryan.
and that's yeah. So we birded from 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. for the whole 15 hours. And then, so our first species, we had a great day yesterday at the World Series of Birding. So our first species was a clapper rail at Jake's Landing boat ramp. And then our last species was gadwall at the Cape May Meadows at like 7:55 p.m. So our highlights. So our first highlight was the black skimmer at the Wetlands Institute. So they flew like super close to us, and we saw them skimming, and then they flew like in synchrony, like far better than any Olympian could do. So then our second highlight was the red-headed woodpecker. So we went to the spot, and then we all noticed that it was very foggy. So Ryan here said, we'll have no luck finding this woodpecker. It's too foggy. And then about like 2 seconds later, the red-headed woodpecker calls super loudly and probably super close, like off to our right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. Yeah. And then our third highlight was probably just like the rarity that we didn't think was rare, which was actually turkey vulture. So after like 11 hours, almost 12 hours of birding, we finally saw the vulture, and then Ryan spotted it, and then we were all jumping up and down, almost as if we haven't seen a vulture before. And thank you for all the parents who helped us along the way. And thank you to Mr. George Radcliffe, who made this all happen and made us appreciate birds even more. And that's all I have for today.
Thank you. You can go down there and. We missed All right. Next up is going to be Division B, which is grades 6 to 8. In third place was the YMOS Lunatics with 146 species. In second place, the Pete Dunnelins with 149 species. And in first place, the YMOS Yellow-billed Lunatics with 154 species. Who would like to speak? Oh, I got it, Mike, sorry.
What are you going to say about Joseph?
Hi, we are the YOS Yellow-billed Lunatics. I'm Nara, and I'd like to introduce my wonderful team members. This is Cassidy. That's Roshan, and Joseph. He's not here today, but he was a wonderful help in the World Series. And I guess I'll tell you a little bit about our experiences yesterday. Well, I expect some people might talk about the rain. We can't tell you about the rain, you were sleeping. The only thing I can tell you about the rain is that we went down to Higbee's and got our Swainson's warbler in the rain. That was a little miserable, but it was still good. And at the end of the day, our last species was the eastern screech owl. We went down to, actually, again, a place near Higbee's and started calling it in, practicing our screech owl calls, which may sound like dying owls.
Do it.
I'm not, no, okay. And before we end, I would like to thank Mr. Bart, our driver. He had to deal with a lot of... Wait, stop! Is that a Merlin? No. It's a mourning dove. Never mind, go. And I would also like to thank our parents and Mr. George, and we couldn't do this without them. So. And even though we don't get along all the time, we still persevere until the end and had fun. So thank you from the YMOS Yellow-billed Lunatics.
Funny. All right, next up we have Division C, grades 9 to 12, which is the Pete Dunn Future Leaders in Birding Award. And in first place, we have the YMOS Circadian Flycatchers with 207 species. Yeah. Yeah. Congratulations. 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 Who wants the mic? Oh, no, first photo. First, we're doing the photo. So. We good? Who would like the mic? All right.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Jonathan Irons. This is my team. We got Josie, Aaron, Scotty, and this is Emma. Emma's actually from New Jersey, and she joined our team this year and has become an honorary member of Lyme West. Anyway, we're the Circadian Flycatchers. We're sponsored by Youth Maryland Ornithological Society. And first of all, I'd like to thank George Radcliffe he's our group mentor and leader, and he's been sending teams up to this World Series, I think, for over 20 years, and has had a significant impact on so many young birders, including myself. I'd also like to thank some of the teams up north, Jackson Messick with the One Wren to Rule Them All, and some of the YMOS alumni from the Princeton Tiger Strikes for just helping us scout and also sharing some cool birds with us in scouting and stuff. So you may be wondering, like, our secrets to success. So our main ones is teamwork and also scouting. So we all went up like a week in advance. We all got up here, I think, Sunday. Josie and Aaron scouted Cape May County and like around like the southern, I guess you could call, New Jersey. Emma was central, so like around like north of Brigg and then like around New York City, that area. And then Scotty and I were up north. So for us, the average like scouting day started around 1:30 in the morning, and then we went to, depending on the day, like 5 p.m. So that's probably, you know, that's like our main key to success. I mean, we were scouting like crazy hours, getting like pretty much 4 hours of sleep every day, and it definitely disrupted our circadian rhythm. Anyway, some of our highlights throughout the day included, we had black rail, a monk parakeet, which is one that I've always dreamed of getting on the World Series. We finally got that one. Drumming ruffed grouse. There was something really cool that I would never expected to see, was like a flock of 10 Wilson storm petrels feeding in the inlet where the Cape May Ferry comes out. We saw American bittern up at Garrett Mountain Reservation up in northern New Jersey. What else? We had a few good NFCs, like our cuckoos and stuff. What other highlights? Anything else? Oh, the toughest bird of the day had to be Carolina chickadee. I think a lot of the full state teams kind of have an idea about this, but anyway, like when we got down south, like Forest Live, I kind of started thinking about like Carolina chickadee. I got to keep that on my mind, right? Because teams have gone like pretty close to missing it, right? So we keep going south, like, these aren't really good chickadee places. Then Aaron and Joe's like, they're everywhere. That's like the most common passerine. I was like, okay, we'll see how it goes. But anyway, we keep going around, and sure enough, come 6:30, we're like, holy cow, there's no chickadees. We're in Belle Plaine. It's foggy, getting dark, like not much is singing, and we're like, we don't have chickadee yet. This is a problem. And I always think about it because like I've heard so many stories of other teams, like back in the day, like the hardcore full state teams, like, oh, they could go all day and like almost miss chickadee. I was like, oh my gosh, like we can't miss chickadee. So we were like, oh man, we need to really start trying for these things. So we did our best screech owl imitations and pished and squeaked and whatever, and didn't get any for a while. And then finally we heard one call, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's like, I don't think I've ever been so excited to see or hear a Carolina chickadee. I was like, oh my gosh, honestly, that was probably like the most exciting bird I got all day. Anyway, I'd just like to thank all the parents and stuff that helped us or drove us around all week, and also New Jersey Audubon for hosting this event, and I'm pretty excited to see it back in the normal form again, right, after 2 years. But anyway, that's all I have. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And 207 species under yesterday's condition is truly a remarkable total, so they deserve a lot of congratulations. Okay, that does it for the Zeiss Youth Division. One thing I do want to say, though, before we leave the Youth Division is if any of the youth have not received their medallions yet, please make sure you grab one before you leave. So, okay, we are going to jump up to level 1 and start with the Big Stay Award. So we had one team, the Springwatch Swifts, so take first place with 91 species out at Coral Avenue and Cape May Point. Emily, you want to do the honors? So for those who could drive around and maybe get out of the fog for a little bit, at Springwatch, they didn't have that option. So if you don't know the rules for the Big Stay Award, you have to stay within a 17-foot diameter circle for the day. So they were in fog and rain the whole day. So.
Yeah, I'm not part of the Springwatch Swifts. They're all at the Springwatch counting birds, so they couldn't be here. I'm accepting on their behalf, but they were really excited to see all of you that stopped by. And I know my youth team really appreciated all the snacks that they had up there. So on their behalf, thank you.
And yes, they are out there doing their jobs. That's what they're paid to do. Springwatch is our newest migration count, and it's been going on officially for 4 years with much longer efforts from Tom Reed and others. But we're excited that it is now a big stake. Okay, moving on from that to the Lga Award. So this is the division where we actually have a par that is determined for each county, and then the winner is determined from there. So in third place, Birding with Glorious Purpose, raising money for the Cora Hartshorn Arboretum with 92 species and 71% of par. So congrats to them. In second place, the Middlesex Merlins with 117 species or 75% of par. And the winners in the Lga Award, the Ridge and Valley Renegades with 129 species and 81% of par. And I believe they are not here, so we will accept the award on their behalf. Moving on to the Cape May County Award, which had quite a few teams in it. In third place, the Wetlands Institute Marshketeers with 134 species. Ran into them a couple times yesterday. In second place, the Momlets +1 with 138 species. Good job. And in first place, Zen Zugenru with 165 species. Sure. Congrats. I think we've seen you up here before. I'll trade you a picture. You get this. All right. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Brett. Thanks, everyone at NJI Audubon, and thanks to all the efforts of everyone today. Just good to see all the teams back in action, and we get to meet together. And all the teams, all the young teams, your mentors, your parents. It was so great to see, especially at the Meadows at the end of the day. Like you can kind of take it's our 29th year. You can kind of take a good survey of everything that's happening. We always need the birds that are at the Meadows that we can't get at dawn. At the dusk time, we focus on Cape May County and Cape Island. So the Meadows is a central part of any strategy south, or if you're doing the whole state too. We saw state teams, we saw all the youth teams that came up here. We really had a good time. You guys want to say anything? I have a team. Tate Johansson, Dave Hedin, Sam Galick in the back over there. Just kidding. We have another team member from years past, Tom Johnson, back there, holding our spot. And it was just a super cool day, seeing the way the day developed as far as taking a competitive attitude, getting all your scouting done, being concerned with all the different facets of how you're going to set this up, and then having to make all those decisions while you're focused on birds. It's just a lot to manage, a lot to do, a lot to take on. We had, Sam Galick wasn't here, but he was able to take on the new idea of making eBird checklists happen in real time. Totally missed lots of species. Complete checklist kind of fell to the wayside, except we have to go back and figure that out. So there's a lot going on. Sam's a recent dad, so he has like a dad brain. He can like multitask 5 things at once. He found all of our birds when we weren't looking around, and also entered them all in for us. So thanks to him. We played around in the weather just like you all did. Probably a great highlight was saying to ourselves, we can't see songbirds that we planned for when it started raining and kept developing. So we went to the Ocean City Welcome Center and had a great time, stayed out of the rain, had all sorts of things happen, shared in some of your Wilson storm petrels experience. One of our other experiences was a white-winged scoter that just beelined south, right over the marshes while we were enjoying all these other cool birds, and a white-faced ibis flies by, and we're all scampering and watching the thing climbing to the tree. So we just really had a great, exciting time. 6 woodpecker species in Cape May County, which we never did before, and so on and so forth. We really enjoyed. I really like all your shirts and all your stuff, all the presentations, and looking forward to more. The Cape Island, the birdability nuthatch. That was really cool to see your efforts there. So thanks so much. We really love Cape Island. Maybe we'll come back and compete against you in a couple of years. And we missed nuthatch, and that was like no big deal. That's of all the birds you're trying to scout and have, like the white-breasted nuthatch is like the least of your problems. You scout it and scout it and scout it, and it's just worse than a chickadee because it just doesn't care about you that day. You could squeak or do anything you want. It just has to be a moment of luck. And so I feel lucky sharing this all with you. Thanks so much. I'm Glenn Davis, and we'll see you next year.
Thanks, Glenn. Okay, next up, we have the Cape Island Cup. I'm excited to bring up the Birdabilities Team Nuthatch with 70 species. And this is the highest total for a team south of the canal. And I do also want to point out this is the first time ever in the World Series of Birding that we have had a team completely comprised of disabled members. So congratulations to them and all of their efforts. So. Down in front. Oh, do you want? Okay. Yep. Yeah, I'll lift it up. Okay. You want to lift it up? No, you guys. So she'll direct you. Yeah.
And no, not only on the wheel turn. Okay.
I'll shake that hand. Who would like the trophy? Who would like to speak?
I would.
Oh, yeah. I'll get over on that end for the photo.
First of all, thank you so very much for having us at the World Series of Birding. We're sort of amazed at what has happened in the last few years. Started with the birdathon. I wanted to do my own damn birdathon, so all those walking people wouldn't be dragging me around. So I did that, and I birded dawn to dusk in Austin, Texas, in accessible parks. And National Audubon found out about it prior to the event, somehow. And they sent a photojournalist down to follow me. And then the rest has just happened in a miraculous way. And now we have all kinds of amazing birdability captains across the country doing this work. We are looking at a birdability map, a beautiful birdability map, which has been a dream of mine for years, whereby people who have access challenges can simply pull up the birdability map and see now all the accessible trails pinned on the map. We have over 1,000 accessible sites now in 2 years' time. It truly is amazing to know that we can make change. And it involves people helping us, it involves people embracing us, like New Jersey Audubon. Thank you, Lily, and thank you, Dale. Thank you, everybody involved. Helping us be in these festivals, giving us all kinds of outreach and amplification, and just embracing us in unbelievable ways. So I just want to thank everybody for your support. And as far as yesterday went, we all know how miserably rainy and foggy it was, but we also had a wonderful time. This is the first time that I have met in person these people on my team, and they were just so all amazing. I feel like we have been working together as a disabled team by Zoom for so long that we weren't sure how we were going to be interacting physically. But we all did a wonderful job. And I would like to just hand it over to Freya McGregor. She's the Director of Outreach and Programming for Birdability.
Hi everyone, my name's Freya. My pronouns are she, her. If you're not familiar, Birdability, we're a brand new nonprofit and we're all about sharing the joys of birding and the outdoors with people who have disabilities or other health concerns. My title implies there are many stuff. There's not. We're fundraising for Birdability, and so we're trying to raise $10,000. We're only 15 months old as a nonprofit, and I will gladly take your cash or checks or send you to birdability.org/donate because we're not quite at $10,000. So on our team today we have Jerry. Jerry's totally blind since birth. We have Nicole, who is autistic and has chronic pain. Meg Hodipa has PTSD and a traumatic brain injury and a whole lot of other stuff going on and is a bloody rock star. And Michael, who is legally blind. Virginia, manual wheelchair user, and myself, I have a dodgy knee that also impacts my ability to go birding. And the thing that's really important to know is that although you might not identify with anyone up on the stage, our work impacts all of us at some point in our lives. We will have access challenges that restrict or otherwise cause trouble with the way we want to go birding, whether that's a trail we can't access anymore, railing heights at the Hawkwatch platform that people who are seated cannot see through. There's all kinds of things, and we want to make sure that we empower a welcoming and inclusive birding community as well, so that when we bring people into birding, they feel like they belong, even if they bird in different ways than this kind of a way. So yesterday, we had a really interesting day because only Virginia and myself have ever birded together in person, and we have a really diverse group of disabilities in our team, and so we had to make sure that we were operating in a way that everyone could feel like they could participate, given our individual and collective functional capacities. And it's kind of amazing that we came out with 70 species on Cape May Island, given the weather and everything else. Big thanks to Lee and Claire, who are our drivers and sighted guides of their respective husbands and record keepers. And please take away from this that disabled people can. Thank you very much.
All right, congratulations again to the birdability nuthatches. Okay, moving on from there, we are going to the Carbon Footprint Challenge Cup, and that is in first place, the Northern Sweat Owls with 112 species. Okay, they are not here, so we will accept the trophy on their behalf. And now to the top 3 award categories, the Boundless Birding, which recognizes the highest total species among all the level 1 teams in every category. So Alex, you want to come on up for this one, and we'll give out these awards. So in third place, with 177 species, we have avian avarice. They're getting the Stearns Award. Congratulations. Let's get the photo. So maybe, yep, give them the, right up to here. Good? Okay. Who wants to say a few words?
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for having us. Dan, Justin, Rob, Andrew. Thanks to my team. We have a great team. I had a lot of fun with these guys. Had a lot of fun seeing a lot of you out there. As one of the highlights for me in doing this in person is being able to be out in the field and run into other teams. We saw some old friends, made some new ones. Jackson, great to see you out there. And I don't know if the Lunatics are here, but it was great to, there you are. We saw them a couple times in the field and some other teams too. We had a same day as you guys all had with the crazy weather and all that, but I'll just relay one interesting memory. It was probably the 10 best minutes of the day. We had a little debate in the car about whether or not we should go to Avalon because we wouldn't see anything. And when we got there, we walked out on the beach and we're looking for purple sandpiper, and they weren't there. And then all of a sudden, this little bird flew across and landed on the beach, and it turned out to be a pipit. And we're like, well, that's pretty great. And then when the pipit landed there, we realized, oh, the purple sandpipers are on the beach next to them. Well, that's pretty great. And then somebody says, well, maybe we should keep walking. We'll see something else. And then the next thing you know, here comes the storm petrel that everybody got yesterday, coming right past the rocks. So we got a chance to see that. And this guy's really seasick, so he's never been on a boat, and that was his first one. So it was a pretty good day. So we had a great day, and the one thing I did take away from this year, not to be a Debbie Downer, but our one day that we went out and were able to do some scouting, I was reflecting on what we saw after the day, and I've been doing this since 2008, and I just feel like there's less birds out there after seeing what's there year after year after year, and I think it underscores the importance of what we're doing here and trying to support conservation. So thank you to New Jersey Audubon and everything that you're doing, and hopefully we'll see you again next year.
Awesome, and I think just to underscore what he was saying, not only about the birds that we've lost over the last 30 years, but the excitement of seeing other birders out in the field, like-minded people out enjoying nature, and how when the competition first started, there were not the teams out there. And to now go out and, like Glenn was saying, be at the meadows, and there's all these teams coming and going, or even if you're at Spring Watch, and it was like a constant stream of teams coming and going. It's just so exciting to see. So we'll keep that going. On to the second place award, the Stone Award. And that goes to the Cornell Redheads Team B, with 191 species. Congratulations. 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 Okay, photo, just step right up here. Yep. wants to speak?
Hi, everyone. My name is Tristan. This is my team, my wonderful, wonderful team. This is Anthony, Ryan, Jenny, and Archie, and we're all Cornell students representing Cornell on one of our state teams. We have another state team that did incredibly well as well. And yeah, I guess what I have to say is a bunch of thank yous, really. Birding in my life has been really important, as I'm sure many of you can share that story with me. I will say that I was born and raised in South Africa, and there's not many young birders out there. It's very much something for people with a bit more years. And so when I moved over to America, and I got to experience the huge community of young birders, it was just phenomenal. I mean, it brought a lot of tears to my heart. I mean, it's really, really special what's here. So a big thank you to all the parents that got your kids involved with birding. I can tell you that it's a huge blessing, and one of the best things that you could have done for them. And then a little note to the young birders as well is stick with it, because it takes you places and gets you to see things and meet people, and you have such incredible experiences in your life because of it. And then, I mean, our day was, really incredible. We did a full route, and we were up I was up at 8 p.m. and didn't go to bed, and stayed through until, past 12. And so we had a full day. And we are heading back up to Ithaca today to do our finals, so we still have exams. I have a 10-page essay that's due tonight that I have not started. But just a huge thank you to New Jersey Audubon and the beautiful state of New Jersey for hosting us. And then a massive thank you to Cornell and the Lab of Ornithology for bringing together a very big crowd of young birders, become incredible friends over the years, and just an incredible community to be a part of. Maybe we'll see some of the youngsters here coming to join us in a couple of years. And then a huge thank you to the birds as well.
So Tristan, back in the day, we had to use typewriters staying up all night. And if you ran out of whiteout, it would start over on the page. So things are a little easier, maybe. All right, and then moving on to the first place, the Erner Stone Cup. It is the Princeton Tiger Shrikes with 205 species. We also have this, so you get two kind of awards. This is the Boundless Birding Trophy along with the Erner Stone Cup. So, all right, move up maybe a little bit as a whole group. We all good? Well, a couple more. Who would like to speak?
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Claire, and I'm the captain of the Princeton Tiger Shrikes. These are my team members, Alex, David, Kojo, Julian, and Patrick. And we are the first team that Princeton has ever sent to this event, to our knowledge, and we are just so grateful to Princeton for sponsoring us and helping us to put this all together. As many of you guys have mentioned, the conditions were definitely rough yesterday, but I think despite the fog and the rain and the apparent lack of songbird migration, at least in our eyes, we are proud with what we were able to pull together. I felt like we had really just one mixed flock of migrating warblers the entire day, which was probably the least mixed flocks I've ever seen on a World Series. But despite that, we were able to pull through. And we're just so grateful to all of the other teams who made scouting so fun, who made this a great competition and made it feel super collaborative. And we're also really grateful to New Jersey Audubon for continuing to put on this event to help us to promote bird conservation and also have a good time doing it. I also want to mention 4 of us are alumni of the YMOS program, so we're super grateful to that for getting us into birding while we were younger and for helping us continue to compete in this event. So thank you again. Yeah.
All right, congratulations. So that is going to, thanks, Alex, do it for the competitive side of it. But of course, I also want to mention the ambassador teams. There are a lot of the teams out there who are doing it not only for the competitive spirit, we do like to keep track of the birds we see, but it is for the fun and the raising the funds for conservation. So we do always give out an award, the Ambassador Award for the prior year's fundraising, because some of this fundraising is going to continue. Even though the event is over, hopefully your teams will keep raising money in the next bit here for conservation. And last year's highest ambassador team was the Seaside Sparrows, who raised over $15,000 last year. So we want to recognize that team. It looks like to date, the leading non-staff team is the Lenape Park Nighthawks. Is that correct? So, yeah. So even though the event's over, don't feel like you have to stop fundraising. So, like Freya said, we'll take your checks, your cash. But we would like to pass the mic around. I know there's a bunch of ambassador teams that would probably like to share some of what their day was like. The way we're going to do this is we're going to start at each end with a microphone and kind of pass it from team to team and work to the center. We'll have a couple, Emily and Emily, we're going to. But really, this is a part of the event that just keeps growing, is the number of participants and teams that aren't necessarily able to put in maybe the length of time, but somebody who can just go out in their backyard and watch for a few minutes and still contribute to a team. And the fact that it can take place all over the entire Atlantic Flyway. So as you're going through, if you're one of these ambassador teams and you had people in other states, maybe point out how many states or what other states besides New Jersey were part of your team, because it could have been anywhere from Maine down to Florida. So I'm happy to be very much a part, and you'll hear from in a minute, the CMBO Century Run team, and we also had people in New York and Pennsylvania taking part. So it does provide an opportunity to get a few species that you wouldn't necessarily get on a foggy, rainy day in New Jersey, especially if you have people down in Florida and get some of those tropical species, and then you're up in Maine and you can get the boreal species. So if you're an ambassador team, think about stretching your limits next year, adding some team members from out of state, and make it a lot of fun. And that's where I know, like last year, before we were able to be in person like we were back on the bus, this year we had over 200 texts and stuff between team members during the course of the day, and it just makes it so exciting to know what the other people are seeing while they're out there birding. And I do also want to thank everybody who did, through the WSB sharing group, send out things yesterday. And it really is a huge help to be able to something pop up, and if it's a species you've missed, to be able to know where one's been seen and hopefully shoot over and get it quickly. So, what's it? Oh, Pat. Okay, we're going to start over on the right-hand side.
Hi, everyone. I'm Rich Caulfield. I'm the proud captain of the Wandering Tattlers, which is the board of directors team. Board members, our senior management team, and friends get together to see how many birds we can see and how much money we can raise for New Jersey Audubon to celebrate not only the birds, but the amazing people that help protect nature for all of us. We had some wonderful moments yesterday. We started the day with a pair of goldfinch that wanted to prove to us that some shades of yellow can pierce even the densest fog. We enjoyed driving down Seagrove and seeing the amazing work that our stewardship team is doing in the state park. The spring watch was amazing. Tom and Jesse were identifying birds that I literally couldn't see. We had a mixed odd couple, blue odd couple in Higbee Beach, an indigo bunting feeding very close to a blue grosbeak, which was great for our rookie team members to have those in the same field of view and do the comparison. And then finally, at Shell Bay Landing, we had an impromptu talk by Kevin Carlson about whimbrel migration while a line of whimbrel flew up the bay behind him. Wonderful. And then wherever we went yesterday, there was applause. I don't know if you noticed, but for those of us that believe in the mission, there were clapper rails everywhere. And they were applauding. So thanks to all of you for being here. Thanks to our sponsors. And thanks, of course, to the staff from New Jersey Audubon. And Karen, our assistant coach, where are you? All right.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jackson Misek. It's interesting, obviously, seeing all the youth teams. Sorry, I did not realize I was speaking first. I was actually a youth team member here from 2003 to 2007, and my dad was my driver. And then in 2009, when I came back during college, he became my teammate. We've done it together since then, other than the last few years for grad school when I was in California. We added David Luck and Rich White, who are friends of mine from growing up and have gotten into birding for the past few years. So we had a good week. We all came in last Friday. I was in Sussex. They were down in the south for most of the week. The north was rough, not a lot of migrants, as you all know. The south was really fun, other than the large amounts of fog. But yeah, we had a good day, and hopefully we'll be back at some point. So good to see you guys.
All right. I'm Casey McCardle. I was on Meet the Flockers with Brian and Daryl. I just wanted to thank everybody. It was a great day of birding, and I think our best bird was a porcupine up in High Point, and we got a great look at that guy. I think that a couple other teams might have as well, but I think the best bird was actually one we didn't list. We couldn't come to a conclusion on a sparrow up by Culver's Lake. I think it was an immature coastal Nelson's, but it was interesting. It was a great day of birding, and lots of fog, and good luck next year.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jim Kellum. I'm a professor at St. Vincent College. We've got 3 teams this year. First time we've had 3. And we also have the challenge that the Cornell and Stanford folks mentioned about exams. Fortunately, it was a week later, so we all did exams and then went home and then came back. But I've got a big crew of juniors and seniors and all different majors. And this is often, one of my colleagues is here. She's just cleared her throat because I didn't introduce her. Dr. Michelle Duenas is here. She's actually an expert in bees, and she's like, I want to learn about birds. So she actually came and audited the course that I've set up. It's a one credit course. We meet weekly and we talk about birds, and happy to have you, Michelle. I can't speak for the other 2 teams, so I won't get into all of our fun stories, but wanted to thank everyone. Also, a shout out to Mr. Jim Wilson, who couldn't be here, but he was for many years leading middle school teams, and then they got into high school teams. The Momlets are part of his pedigree, I don't know, ancestry or whatever. I still, sleep deprived. But yeah, so Jim Wilson has also now, graduated several college teams, and we're real thankful for that. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rosa, and I'm from the Nature Center Nuthatches. And I think the hardest part of our day was driving places because we were in a golf cart and we couldn't beep at people. And there were people who were walking where they weren't supposed to be walking. And so Trish said to say beep whenever she said horn. So we beeped. And I think our favorite bird that we found was the chimney swift. And I want to say thank you to Emily from the Nature Center. And we had a really fun day.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm from part of the team Not a Nuthatch. There are many nuthatch teams, including the team Nuthatch. We ran into many times, and this was my first time doing the World Series. But we saw 75 species, a third of which, actually exactly a third, I'd never seen before, which was really cool for me, including a ton of different sandpipers and shorebirds of that kind. But I think my favorite bird was the indigo bunting, just because I really wanted to see it for a while. And I mean, there's so few bluebirds. And blue is like the best, so that was cool. And it was just really fun to be out there seeing all the other birders, and I've always been into birds, but this is my first time really doing something of this sort, and it was just really cool to be out there. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Rhonda from the Momlets. Well, for us, our struggles actually started before the World Series. This weekend fell on prom weekend for a lot of our other teammates' kids, so they couldn't be here. And then Jim Wilson was supposed to be on our team, and due to unforeseen circumstances, he had gotten here and had to leave. So our struggles started a little earlier. But he did leave us with a 105-point plan to follow. Which we did try to stick to until the rain came. The rain came and we had to adjust our course a little bit, and but it all worked out well, and we got one of our highest totals ever. It is our highest total. So we're really proud, and we want to thank Jim, even though he couldn't be here. He kept up with us all day. He wanted to know where we were and if we were staying on track and where we were on the 105-point plan. Thank you guys for all that you do, and we look forward to being here next year.
I'm Ellie from the Flying Penguins. This was our first time doing the World Series, and it was really fun. We only got 2 woodpeckers the whole time, so that was sad. But we did get like 15 lifers each. Our favorite was the storm petrels. They were really cool. We just want to say thank you to everyone who organized this. So yeah.
Hi, I'm Kathy Horn from CMBO's Century Run team. Brett is our illustrious captain up here. We had a good day. We had one of those hybrid teams, so we have a couple of people who are on our team from New York State, and then a couple of people who are on our team from Pennsylvania. So one of our exciting things was that we got the warbler list from our friends in New York, otherwise we would have practically had no warblers. And then our other exciting piece was when we had the 27 Wilson storm petrels just right offshore when we were at the state park. That was great. And as I've listened today to some of the people talking, we tend to have an older or more experienced birder team than a lot of the people here. And so I was kind of regretting the fact that a lot of us didn't start birding when we were 7 years old. However, I then quickly thought about the fact that I don't have to go take an exam tomorrow. I don't even have to go to work tomorrow. So it's all good.
What? Hi, I'm Jack from the Pete Dunlands, and first of all, I never knew that on 3 hours of sleep, I'd have so much energy on the World Series, because every single car ride, I was just like, we had like sugar rushes like every like stop, and I think it was really exciting to see a lot of lifers, and it was all of our first World Series, and we got a great total, 149 species, and coming in second place. I think none of this would have been possible without Andrew and most of the parents just driving around and like helping communicate with us. So, and also our communication among us helped us get a lot more birds in the beginning of the day and end of the day. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Beer with the Raven Lunatics, best team name and T-shirt. My awesome teammates are Patty Wren, Lori Gladulich, and Linda Widdop couldn't be here with us. This is the first year that we're doing the World Series as a team, though we've all done it in different ways before. I think we may be the only all-women's team. We had a really good day for the first effort. We ended up with 166 species, but we ran into tons of people. So just want to thank everyone so much. The sharing was awesome. Jackson and Dan and lots of folks were so helpful out in the field. And we supported and raised money for, we're all DVOC members. So I think those guys were big way back in the day, and they haven't done a team for a long time, so they were awesome. So shout out to our Delaware Valley and Philly peeps. Our best bird of the day, I think, was the Sora. This was somewhere in the, 2 a.m. hour. But it wasn't at Liberty Marsh where we started. It wasn't at the Great Swamp, which we bagged. It was on the road, and we were pulling away from somewhere, and Lori stopped the truck and said, "There's a bird." And we're like, "Where? And she's pointing down on the ground, and it's sitting on the ground right next to us. Then you can't count dead birds, but fortunately, we walk over, and it moved. So thank you so much, and we are already scouting for next year.
Okay, thank you, everyone. So before we wrap it up here, I want to thank a few people. First off, thank you. I'm going to give a personal shout out to the CMBO Century Run team that I've been lucky to be part of for the past 6 years now. A great group. We had a great day. And alluding to what Rich was saying about clapper rails everywhere, I think I saw at least 6 of them in flight yesterday, which normally you don't get to see clapper rails flying so much. But most unusual was the one at the Meadows flying across the water. And then it landed and called, so that made it nice and easy. But yeah, we have a lot of people to thank. And I obviously can't thank them all. I really want to thank all the people that even couldn't be here and participated in teams all over. They are going to see, obviously, I think the recording of this, hopefully, and be able to take part in spirit. But this event is a whole lot bigger than the people in this room. I think you all know that. I think it's so important to thank the people who have cultivated the experience and the event the way they have and brought up these continuing youth teams like George Radcliffe and YMOS. So that's critical to the future of conservation. We can't do it without the support of all the volunteers that we get from all over. We have a great crew of volunteers. I do want to thank also the staff of the Grand here for putting on the finish line with us last night, as well as today's awards brunch. And then, of course, very importantly, our official sponsors. So Ocean Wind, Wakefern, ShopRite, and Zeiss Sports Optics. So, and lastly, I'll give a shout out to New Jersey Audubon. So I'm very humbled to be part of this organization. I think we're doing great work around the world, and I think you are helping to make that possible. So thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you next year, which is on May 13th, 2023. And very excitingly, it will be the 40th World Series of Birding. So thanks again. Take care, get some sleep.